What is up, everybody? Welcome back. It's Mr. Everything here, and today we're gonna be reacting to I don't know how much, three disturbing true warehouse horror stories from Mr. Nightmare. Now I know I haven't been uploading recently. Been really busy. I was doing MCAS. I might do a story time on that, and yeah. But yeah, sorry I haven't been posting lately. But yeah, we're gonna react to this story. Hopefully it's not too scary. But yeah, let's react.
I was assigned as a security guard with the midnight shift at a very large Omaha warehouse when I was a young man. This building was mainly used for storage and it was huge. We, as security personnel, were tasked with hitting several stations inside this building on the night shifts, and this required that we did a lot of walking. There would always be two personnel assigned to the warehouse at night, one patrolling the outside perimeter in a car, and one inside the warehouse on foot. Being outside, sitting in the comfort of a car, was obviously the more desirable of the two. I was working a Wednesday night. I was about half an hour into my shift. I would start the shifts walking around for about an hour, just surveilling the place before sitting down in one of the security offices. This room had some low budget, ancient camera system that at the time was impressive technology, but it only had two screens because there were only two cameras in the entire warehouse, one in the northeast corner and one in the southwest corner. That's why we couldn't just sit on our butts in the security office our entire shifts and had to actually patrol the place. This was a shared warehouse for some tech companies, and a lot of expensive equipment was held here, hence why two security guards would have to be there every single night. The warehouse layout was similar to that of a regular grocery store. There were like 10 to 15 aisles, and one intersecting aisle that cuts between the other 10 to 15 in the middle. I was still making my initial rounds around the place. I saw all the way down at the end of the aisle I was in, something at the end section. It was like this white thing that kind of resembled the shape of a head, and it was poking out from behind the end section. Mind you, it was so far away that all I could make from it was this white-looking object. I elevated my slow stroll to a moderately quick speed walk, and halfway through the aisle, the white thing disappeared behind the tower of boxes. This confirmed my fear that it was a person, and that I wasn't alone in there. I now ran to the end of the aisle, hoping to see the other night guard walking around or something. As I
Wait, hold on. I can never work at a warehouse if I were you. Honestly, I would never want to work, especially a warehouse with like no one there, like on the night shift. I would never do that, man. I hate working at night, like and like alone. Like I hate even like the thought of like going outside and like at night when no one's there. That it feels like I'm the only person on earth. But yeah, I would never work at a warehouse at night. Definitely nope. Unless I had no other option. But yeah, let's keep going.
stood in the southwest corner of this giant warehouse. I looked up at the camera in the corner, and it was pointing in the direction of the thing I just saw. I looked in that direction, and there it was again, at maybe the seventh aisle, that white thing I saw earlier. Now it was a lot closer, and I could make it out to be someone's face, as I feared. But it wasn't the other security guard. It was this extremely pale, ghoulish-looking face. They once again slowly hid their face behind the tower of boxes. I walkie-talkied the other guard on duty, and he radioed back that he was in the car by the back section of the parking lot. He said roger that, he'd be here in 5. Getting off the phone with him, I was nervous to approach the aisle that I saw the person's head. Even though this is exactly what a security guard's purpose and job is, you never actually expect or anticipate seeing any action. I took a deep breath and ran to that aisle and stopped at the end of it to look down it. The person wasn't in sight. I figured they must have ran for it. So I ran halfway down, hoping to catch up to them. But I stopped when I smelled this horrible putrid odor. It smelled like a dead, rotting carcass. I followed the scent until it became overwhelming, and I found the source of it. It was coming from this big wooden box that was different from the rest of the boxes. I pulled the lid off the box, and inside was a dead body laying in a pool of blood. The most shocking part of it was that it was missing a head. I walkie-talkied to
Ew.
the other security guard again.
Ew, that's disgusting. So, gosh. Wait, so let me get this straight. He went down to like, ew. And the fact that it was smelling. So like let me get this straight. He went and he found the bag with the dead body that was beheaded. Hell man, Mr. Nightmare. You are sure giving me a nightmare right now. Whatever. Anyway.
And yelled at him to call the police and report a dead body in the warehouse.
Gosh.
I said this all while running as fast as I could to the back exit of the warehouse, struggling to get enough air. I threw up the second I made it out the door.
Facts, fam. Nah, man, seeing that is terrible. I wouldn't blame him. Probably do the same thing. Whatever.
Security guard's car and sat in there with him gasping for air. He was still on the phone with the police, so I took the phone and told them whatever the other security guy didn't. Given the nature of the situation, they sent like 5 or 6 cop cars and basically had the entire place surrounded. The body was loaded into an ambulance, and for a good chunk of the night, police were in the warehouse doing forensic work. Perhaps the weirdest part of all of this was that when trying to go back to the video footage captured from the night before, the footage cut out for about 3 hours in the middle of the night. There was no explanation for this happening. I've thought about this night for almost my entire life, basically. I don't believe in ghosts or anything, but I don't really have an explanation for this. I've thought about some far-fetched possibilities, though, like that whoever the murderer was in the warehouse that night and was holding up the severed head of that body, hence why it looks so pale and ghoulish. In fact, it gave me chills just now thinking about it again.
Yeah, that one was like graphic details. Gosh, man, there's some psychos. This story, like, I feel like some of these stories are not true, but they're realistic, which is what I like about them. I mean, this does happen though, like especially, like a lot of this happens. I know that they're just stories and like they don't, but a lot. I feel like, cause he says it in the title, 3 Disturbing True Warehouse Stories, but I mean, I don't know. I don't know if they're true, but they are. Even if they're not, they look pretty realistic. But I don't know. I might be wrong. But still, even the way something like this could happen, and yeah. But you don't have to worry about it. Just be careful who you're around. But yeah. But that one was pretty graphic. Kind of got pictures in my head. But yeah, whatever. Let's keep going to story 2 by Taylor Smith. He showed his name on.
Several years ago, 2 friends and I heard from a mutual friend about this creepy abandoned...
Okay, first off, I could already tell where this is going. It's literally in a road with plain grass all around it. Sounds like an abandoned warehouse. Very good idea to explore an abandoned warehouse at night. Very good. Very
warehouse
smart.
or furniture store that was only a few miles from my house. One night while on a drive, the 3 of us decided to check it out. We parked at a Walgreens a few hundred yards from the warehouse and started walking towards it. As we got closer, my friend, I'll call him Jim, kinda chickened out and stayed back while me and my other friend, I'll call Mark, continued on. As we approached the right side of the building, it became very obvious that this place had been abandoned for a very long time. The front entrance was boarded up,
I knew it.
and there were vines and ivy growing all over the building. Our mutual friend said that the only way in was through a busted-in wall in the back. We went around back, and sure enough, there was a broken-in narrow section of wall we could get in through. We stepped in, and it was completely dark. We couldn't see our hands in front of our faces, so we turned on the flashlights on our phones and looked around. There was trash and debris everywhere on the concrete floors. We were in what appeared to be the main room of the old store, and it was huge. An entire football field could probably fit in this room. We could even hear an echo when we talked. We started looking along the walls, which were covered in graffiti. The graffiti was littered with what must have been gang symbols as well as profanity, as you would expect. What was really unsettling, though, was that as we moved further along the...
See, this is what's dumb though. This is what's dumb. I feel like this probably, whoever this is a teenager, like maybe like a 16-year-old teenager. I don't know. I mean, I could be wrong. I don't know. That's just my mom. I don't know who she's talking to. But whatever. Yeah, this has to be written by like a teenager. I don't know. I don't know. It has to be written by like a teenager. Uh, I mean, only somebody would be stupid enough to like go to a warehouse at night and like explore it. By the way, my dog's barking. Stop barking downstairs. I don't know what he's barking at. But yeah, because usually like adults wouldn't do this, obviously. Though I don't get what's so cool about going to like a haunted house or going to like a warehouse at night. Like, I mean, it's just weird. Especially because like you don't know, you never know like if it was used or someone's living there, if like some homeless man or whatever. I mean, there's a lot of crazy people in this world. But yeah, whatever. I mean, I mean, look at that. Now I know that these illustrations are not real, are not from the real story. But I could tell you that either way, you could get pictures of what it looks like. But yeah, I don't know. To me, it just sounds dumb. But whatever. Just keep going.
Back wall. The graffiti was getting more and more disturbing.
And see, that's another thing. The graffiti, like gang signs. Like, why would you be in a place where there's gang signs? I mean, and also profanity. Whatever. I don't know. I don't know. I never spray painted something. Um, I always thought that everything, if I spray painted something, like it would be vandalism. I don't know. I thought if I spray painted everything or like anything, it would be vandalism. But whatever. Let's keep going.
One of them read, "Kill yourself tonight." Then the graffiti was getting satanic. There were tons of
See,
inverted
I
crosses,
told you.
pentagrams, 666s, and violent scenes depicted. While
Gosh.
this stuff was creepy enough, it wasn't the worst of what we saw. Towards the end of the building, there were some steps leading to smaller rooms. As we shone our lights on the steps, we saw a large dry pool of what was probably blood all over the steps.
See, that's the point where you should just run. Like honestly, that's enough for me. Like if I saw that, I'd be like, you know what? Fuck it. I'm like, let's run, because I'm not going in there. If I saw blood, like even blood itself scares me. I'm like, whose blood is that? Like I mean, blood, man. Ew. That's disgusting. But whatever. I mean, graffiti and like stuff like that, I've seen it before. I mean, even if you go like to the street and you see like a wall, graffiti, whatever. No matter what it says, it's normal. Um, However, the graffiti of the 666 and go kill yourself sign, I mean, that's not really good. But yeah, whatever. I think I'm talking too much.
Deterred us from exploring the smaller rooms beyond, so we headed to the left side of the room. As we were walking, our lights caught something hanging from the ceiling. We got closer and saw what it was. It was a noose, still hanging from one of the rafters.
Oh my
It became very obvious that the
gosh.
people that come to this place use it for very evil purposes. After that, we decided we'd spend enough time in there and headed for the hole in the wall we entered
Yep,
through.
that's what you should have done a long
We got
time
outside
ago.
and saw that there was another, smaller building/warehouse behind the main one. Despite the freaky things we saw inside, we were still curious and decided to check this one out too. One thing that was very odd was that there was a small room in the front of the warehouse that had no doors, only one window. Inside was a large inverted cross hanging from the decrepit ceiling. We came to the left side of the warehouse where the large garage-style entrance was. This building was similar to the first one. It was one large empty room with tons of trash everywhere. There was more disturbing graffiti. However, there were these holes at the base of the walls that were really odd-looking. We shined our lights down them but couldn't see the bottom. What were these for? We had seen enough at this point and headed back outside. It was then that my friend Mark got a call from Jim. As he was talking to Jim, his face suddenly changed to a downright horrified expression. I said, "What's wrong?" What he said next sent a chill down my spine. "Someone else is here," he said. Before we could even turn to run, a white truck peeled around the corner at an alarming speed, heading right towards us. We started booking it towards my car, and as we got around the other back corner of the building, we saw another black truck parked alongside.
Holy
We kept running as
crap.
fast as we could, and thankfully the three of us made it back to my car. We got in and peeled out of there. I don't know what those guys in the trucks were there for, or why they chased after us, but based on what we saw in those buildings,
To
it
kill
wasn't
you,
anything
obviously.
good.
I don't know.
Thankfully, we never found out, and we never returned to that place.
That's terrible. Ah, these ads. Facebook. I already have Facebook. Gosh. Stupid ads. By Tuzi. You know that reminds me. That reminds me of Suzy. He used to be one of my favorite animators. He inspired me to make videos actually. He would always, what does it do? He would always make animations. I thought they were really cool. But yeah, I'm talking too much.
In my mid-20s, I used to be a party planner and event coordinator.
I almost
I was basically in charge of throwing build parties for this record label group. I'd have to rent out venues for a night or weekends, which would allow us to host our events in these places. Usually we wouldn't pay until after the event, and the landlord or owner of whatever property we were using would take a cut of the profits. There was this one time that my group rented this big warehouse for an entire weekend, and we would be hosting parties Friday and Saturday night. Once the place was rented out, I had to do a lot of setting up, which included setting up tables for bottle service, setting up portable bars, and a DJ stand. A lot of work would go into these kinds of pop-up venues, but they were always extremely profitable. My buddy Jack, who was also on the event planning team, was helping me on the Wednesday before the party weekend.
Yo, that sounds like such a basic name, like Jack. I don't know. If your name is Jack, I'm sorry. I don't know. It just sounds like a basic name. Like when I come up with names, I'm like Jake, Jack, Jill. Like what are basic names? No, Max is a dog name. Yeah, but Max is like a dog name. Max is like a basic dog name. So same with Rufus, or what else? What's a boy name? Zachary, Alex. Yeah, Alex, Zachary, Zachary, Alex. What else? Christopher. Those are basic names. Jack, Jake, Justin, Nick. Basic names. Julian. I mean, all these names I know them. I don't know. I thought I'm talking too much. Whatever. How long? Been recording for 17 minutes. Damn.
He drove a truck full of equipment to the empty parking lot that the warehouse sat in. I was having trouble figuring out how to get the power to a certain part of the warehouse activated. I looked for any kind of electrical panel or circuit breaker box, but I was having trouble finding one. I gave the building owner I dealt with a call, and he picked up almost right away. His name's Carter. He told me exactly where to go for the electrical panel that would turn on the specific lights I was looking for. He directed me to a door that had an exit sign on top of it, but it wasn't on. Through this door, I was in a very short, very narrow space with a door on one side which I presume led to the outside, and then a half flight of stairs on the other side. I was supposed to go down this half flight of stairs, which led to another tight space with a couple doors. This room was hard to explain without just seeing it for yourself. I'm 6'4", so I had to bend down a little bit just so my head wouldn't hit the ceiling. That's how cramped it was down there. This level had...
Gosh, 6'4" is like tall. Damn. I mean, I know people who are like 6'1", 6 foot, 5'9", 5'11". I think I'm... How tall am I? I think I'm like 5'8", I think. I don't know. 5'7", 5'8". I don't know. I'm not really that tall. Yeah, probably like 5'8", 5'7", 5'9". I don't know. I don't know. Am I? I don't know. 5'9", somewhere like that. But 6'4", oh, that's tall. I think that was the height of Abraham Lincoln. A very tall man. I think he was the tallest president. I don't know. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Very dim nightlight kind of lights hung on the ceiling. Dim but enough light to navigate just fine. I found the electrical panel, and Carter told me exactly which switches to flip. Then I shut the panel door and turned the key to lock it, even though he told me to just leave the key in the lock. I thanked him and our call ended. I heard a loud and obvious buzzing sound that would be going off in spasms. I followed the sound of it to a door leading to a pitch-black room. Pulling the door open was hard as it scraped against the concrete floor. There was this red light in the top corner of the room that synchronized with the buzzing sound. When the buzzing stopped, the light would also turn off. I was trying to figure out what it was, but it didn't make sense. I stepped deeper into the room and noticed whenever I moved, the light would turn on and the buzzing would sound. When I stood still, it stopped. I don't know why, but I was creeped out, so I went back to the doorway of the room.
I mean, anybody would.
I took one more look inside, and the red light turned on again, lighting up the room with this eerie red glow. I decided to call Carter and tell him about the potential problem with the light and the buzzing. He told me calmly that the light was a motion sensor, and the buzzing was because that one in the basement was busted. I
Oh.
asked what he meant by motion sensor,
Oh, but
and he
that's
explained
creepy though. I mean, still, that would be a red glow. Also, kind of be creeped out. I don't know.
that there's at least one in every room in the building, as it's part of the security system. I looked back into the room, and the light was still on. I asked what could be setting it off in there, and he said he had no idea. And that's when I spotted it. There was someone, I couldn't tell if it was a man or a woman because of the long, disheveled hair, sitting in
Oh
one
my
corner of
god.
this room, half hidden behind a pile of old boxes. Their eyes were the most noticeable feature because of how goddamn wide they were open. The mouth was
Oh
like a half
man.
smile, and they were moving their arm in a manner that was as if to tell me to come here.
Wait,
I know it took
how
me
do you do a half smile? Is it like this? Is it like that? I don't know. Is it like this? Like this? I don't know. Whatever. I think I'm just being weird.
few seconds to describe this person just now, but I was literally screaming at the sight of them in under a second. I slammed that door shut and ran back up the stairs and out that exit door. I told Carter we were leaving and not using the warehouse anymore. I didn't ask any more questions after that.
You
I
see
didn't
this?
care, it was his problem. I yelled at Jack to get everything he could back into the truck. We collected our stuff as quickly as possible, loaded the truck back up, and left. I didn't even bother locking the door to the warehouse. I just wanted to be far away from there. I still today don't know what to make of it. The Carter guy seems so weirdly calm about my telling him about a deranged-looking person in the basement of his warehouse. Thinking back, that light was probably going off because of that person sitting in the corner waving me over, or doing whatever the hell he or she was doing with their arm. It was a truly nightmare-inducing, horrible experience.
Damn though. Well, this is pretty creepy. I probably shit myself, but whatever. Yeah. Thank you guys for watching. Pretty scary stories. Actually look quite liked it. I mean, not the first one though. It's all entertainment though. I mean, and these stories could be fake. I don't know. But yeah, that's pretty cool. Um, I don't know what to do now. Yeah, I think I'm probably gonna end this video. It's late right now. It's 8:49. Probably gonna see this tomorrow. I don't know, cause I don't want to upload it today. Maybe I'll upload it today. I don't know. I'm gonna have to edit the video. I'm tired as f, but whatever. Today was a long day. You know what? And yeah, by the way, comment down below if you want to hear an MCAT story time, cause that is gonna be terrific. I didn't cheat on MCAS. I don't think I've ever cheated on MCAS. I was always like, I didn't, not even the thought process. Like, like someone told, like one time there was this kid. He was like, "Yo, you know how to cheat on MCAS?" I'm like, "No, I don't want to cheat on MCAS. Even if I did want, even if my intentions were to cheat on MCAS, I'd be too, I'd be too damn scared to. Because you know what happens? You know what happens? Sorry, my voice cracked. Do you know what happens when you like cheat on MCAS? Like you would get in serious trouble, because the now like not only would they call your parent and get suspended, indoor suspension, but the whole class would have to retake the whole test, just to ensure that nobody cheated, because like that's how serious these tests are. Say I think it's the same with, I don't know, SAT, MCAT. I don't know. I mean, I haven't taken those tests, but MCAT is one of the major tests in elementary and middle school, and in high school too. But yeah, uh, yeah, MCAS was hard. I only had three of them. I'm in eighth grade right now, so I had science, math, and ELA. Pretty damn. The math one was hard because math is the hardest for me. ELA wasn't that hard. It was just an essay and a little bit of multiple choice questions. And then there was science, which was pretty easy. In science, they didn't really teach me what I expected to be on the test. What I expected to be on the test was like moon phases, um, yeah, moon phases, ecosystems, um, a lot of that. Moon phases, ecosystem. What else? Cells, body cells, like animal cells, plant cells. But yeah, whatever. I'm sounding like a nerd. Whatever. Yeah, thank you guys for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Like, comment, and subscribe. What you guys want to see next? Make sure to follow me on Instagram and Twitter. Instagram at Mr. Everything 2000 and Twitter at the ever 671 37378. But yeah, oh man, I'm tired right now. I went to go play tennis, and then I went for a run. I went to go bike. I went to go play tennis, and I came back here and I just worked out for a little bit more. And then I came back and I wanted to make this video. I'm really tired. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye. Are you still watching? Go away. Okay, I'll stop.